Cripple Creek sits at an elevation of 9,400 feet. During the 1890s, this tiny patch of the Rocky Mountains produced enough raw gold to mint 23 new millionaires. But the dirt streets and heavy machinery from that era now sit right alongside rows of neon slot machines and high-stakes blackjack tables. Colorado legalized gaming here in 1991. The revenue generated by these modern casinos is exactly what pays to preserve the authentic 1890s brick architecture sitting right outside their doors. It makes for a very strange town. You have a rugged, historical mining camp grafted directly onto a Vegas-style getaway. You end up with 3 entirely different destinations operating in the exact same zip code. To get a really good trip out of it, you have to decide exactly which version you actually want to visit. The fastest way to ruin a weekend here is to assume you can do a little bit of everything. Trying to squeeze a 5-mile hike, a deep dive into museum archives, and a premium steakhouse dinner into a 48-hour window creates major logistical friction. You will drain your budget, spend hours just transitioning between gear and venues, and likely hit a wall from altitude exhaustion. Instead, you need to use a strategy we call a scenario match. This means building an itinerary that fits one specific type of traveler. To get the most out of Cripple Creek, you have to aggressively cross things off your list. If you try to balance history, casinos, and the outdoors, you just become an overwhelmed traveler. Let's map out the first option, the heritage track. This requires committing a full day to walking the hills of Bennett Avenue and exploring the district museums. In the year 1900 alone, miners pulled $18 million worth of gold out of these hills. That capital flowed down the mountain and paid for the early development of Colorado Springs. But while the mine owners built mansions, the laborers faced a grueling reality. They spent long shifts deep underground, breaking rock by hand and hauling heavy ore carts to the surface. You can trace that exact history today inside the old Midland Terminal Depot or by walking through the cells of the Outlaws and Lawmen Jail Museum. The town's rough edges are well documented. Heavyweight boxing champion Jack Dempsey even spent time locked up in that local jail for petty larceny. The catch here is physical. Absorbing all this information while walking up and down steep grades at over 9,000 feet of elevation is exhausting work. By choosing the heritage track, you are trading away a relaxing, low-effort vacation to get a highly detailed look at the gold rush. That brings us to food, where you face a rigid split between modern resort dining and independent local cafes. If you stay inside the casinos, you have access to spots like 980 Prime, Saltgrass Steakhouse, and Maggie's. This chart maps the divide. The casino track offers premium menus and high-end service, but you pay premium prices in a sealed-off environment. The alternative is stepping outside to local spots like Docks or the Home Cafe. Here, your dollars stretch further. You interact directly with locals, and you eat your meals inside century-old brick buildings. But you have to accept the limits of small-town operations. The menus are smaller, the operating hours are much shorter, and you won't find any Vegas-style amenities. You have to choose exactly what matters to you. You trade authenticity to get convenience, or you trade luxury to get local charm. Your third option is to ignore the town almost entirely and head into the surrounding alpine wilderness, using trails like the Crags or exploring Mueller State Park. This is a demanding physical environment. Just looking at historical attempts to climb the 14,000-foot summit of nearby Pikes Peak shows how steep and severe the surrounding terrain is. If you put in the effort, you get access to 5,000 acres of protected land, local elk and bear populations, and total quiet away from the casino floors. But weather at this altitude is highly volatile. Clear skies can turn into heavy storms and drop the temperature in minutes. Surviving this trek requires tight logistical discipline. You have to pack strategic layers, carry extra water, and prepare your body for the thin air. Timing is also a factor. To avoid heavy traffic and afternoon storms, you have to hit the trails early. That means sacrificing your daytime hours in town and missing local events like the annual Donkey Derby days. To succeed on the outdoor trek, you have to treat Cripple Creek as a functional base camp to sleep in, rather than a leisure destination to hang out in. This diagram is your blueprint. Pick a primary goal. For comfort, follow the relax and indulge path to casino hotels. For the gold rush, follow learn and explore toward the museums and local cafes. For wilderness, take the conquer path, grab quick snacks, and stay outside. Locking into just one of these paths is the only reliable way to ensure you actually enjoy your time here. Cripple Creek thrives on a bizarre arrangement. The noise and capital of modern casinos bankroll the quiet preservation of 1890s history. Trying to consume all of that at once while fighting the thin air dilutes the experience. Identify exactly what kind of traveler you are right now before you pay for a single reservation. By leaning fully into one specific identity, you bypass the friction. You turn a confusing maze of options into a highly optimized, rewarding trip.